Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oyindi Fudu Predani Mashapa, Mwanayana wa Muvenda. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk, Money and Insurance. So today we are starting things off on a different note. I wrote a letter to you guys. It's a very sweet, short letter to just say Happy New Year 2024. We are here and it's by God's grace. So let's just dive into this message. Masheleni Matters group wishes you a Happy New Year. May your new year be a bountiful one. May you set out smart goals and achieve them. May this year challenge you to explore outside of your comfort zone. May good health, peace, love, and all things money cannot buy be multiplied unto you. May you and yours flourish in 2024. Dare to dream, dare to do all the things you've always been too scared to do. Happy New Year. So we are getting into the new year, changing gears, starting with letters. And just to remind you, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to actually subscribe and be part of the family. We're here and we're all about financial wellness. And of course, contents of this video do not constitute as financial advice. If you do need financial advice, please contact a registered financial advisor with the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. So definitely do that. But here today, we're just going to be talking through some of the things that I feel are quite important for your 2022. So I've got my notes with me here, just so like my thoughts and everything is structured and we are ready to do this. So let's go. Point number 1. If you are really serious about setting yourself up for financial success in 2024, then first out of the day, you need to get yourself this baby right here. I wrote this book with just people that want to make changes to their financial wellness journey in mind. So this is where you start to get the knowledge, the juices, the strategies on how you can actually, set yourself up for financial success, how you can go about doing all of that. So definitely get yourself a copy of my book. That's a shout out to my book. So contact me, DM me, _mesh or just Mashap on Facebook. So definitely contact me and get yourself a copy and start with the right knowledge as you go about doing this financial wellness journey. Point number 2, set really smart goals. There's 3 smart goals that I believe you need to have if you really want to set yourself up for financial success. The first goal is a savings goal. And this can be, you saving towards your emergency fund, at least have 5,000 for emergencies. Like at the worst, have 5,000 chilling around just for emergencies. If you don't have an emergency fund, you can just say, I'm just going to put aside 5,000 and as time goes I will add on to it, maybe add 500 on top of that. But set a savings goal, which can be an emergency fund, or if you already have an emergency fund like myself, then you can definitely set a savings goal towards something that's sentimental to you. Like my friends and I were talking last year, we're like, we cannot do another Christmas in South Africa. So this year we are aiming to go to Switzerland on Christmas and have our very first white Christmas, if you may put it like that. So, that's something that's very sentimental to me, which I feel like it's something that I'll be looking forward to throughout the year. So for trips abroad, I've done trips abroad every year for the past 3 years. So we're going to be looking at something like between 30K and 40K, everything included, like flights and everything included, activities, accommodation, food, and all of that included. So I'm like, okay, cool. On a monthly basis, then I should be setting aside maybe 2.7 to, 3.7K, depending on, how good of a month it is and how much extra money is coming into my account. So those are small things that you can do to say, I'm setting a savings goal. It's going to be an emergency fund if I don't already have one, or it's definitely going to be a sentimental type of goal where you save towards something that you've always wanted. Maybe you've always wanted to get out of the country, just go to Mozambique. My first trip outside of the country was Mozambique, and it was really cheap. We drove to Mozambique with my sisters. So it can be something as simple as that. Just save towards something sentimental. And then a second goal that you can set aside for yourself, besides, a savings goal, set aside an investment goal. It's not enough to save. I will repeat that. It is not enough to save. You need to start investing. And 2024 is the best year for you to actually start investing. And you don't need to start big. Start small. It's one of the dojo principles at work, actually. Start small. So you definitely need to set aside, even if it's 500 rands on a monthly basis, that you know you are investing this money and you will never withdraw it, because that's the whole point. You need to leave it there, allow it to work for you. It cannot work for you if you keep withdrawing it. So withdraw that money, don't withdraw that money, leave it there for as long as you can. Just say, I'm investing 500 every single month towards my future self, and I know for sure that this is money that I never touch. So never touch that money, just allow it to grow there. And then the third one, or the third sort of like goal that you can set for yourself, is set yourself a debt-free type of goal. A lot of people underestimate how much an extra 500 rand repayment towards all your debt, whether it's your credit card, whether it's your vehicle financing loan, whether it's your home loan, how much that extra 500 rand can save you in interest, or can even reduce the number of years that you can, the number of years that are required for you to repay your loan. So definitely this year, set a debt-free type of goal where you tell yourself, I'll be making 500 rand additional payment towards all my debt in order for me to be debt-free by this time. You can go online, search for mortgage calculators. They help you to sort of establish, if you're paying this extra, then how much will your loan term reduce, and how much will you save on interest, and what will be the total repayment based on how much you're currently owing, or the outstanding balance on your loan. So definitely do that. I sat down this year, and one of the things that I've been reflecting on is just I'm tired of paying installments, and it was fine. 2020 it was just we are starting with this life thing. 2021 is like you're establishing yourself, you're trying to save, you're trying to acquire assets and all of that. But 2022 it's also still awesome. That's when I got my apartment. So it's like, okay, 2023 I was so low on like available cash that I was like, I'm dedicating 2023 to saving 100k, which I did, by the way. So it's like, you need to be able to set those goals for yourself and say, okay, but 2024, what am I working towards? 2024, I was like, 2024, I'm tired of paying installments, and this year I will aggressively attack my debts. And this means whatever extra additional money I get, I'm throwing it on my car, I'm throwing it on the bond, just to make sure that I reduce the repayment terms and all of that. I was thinking, and I was doing my calculations. If you have a bond, like myself, if it's around like 700k, and you're making additional repayments of like 4k a month, you can repay your bond in 10 years. And if you make additional repayments of like 8k a month, you can repay your bond. Instead of 20 years, you can actually repay it in 5 years. And I was like, that's a game changer. Because if you look at properties, I'm kind of like now getting a philosophy, or like moving more towards the fact that if your bond is not repaid, making money out of property, or like making profit out of property, can be a bit difficult, especially with the levies and all of that. But it also, there are so many factors involved, right? Like, where is the property, what you're using it for? Is it for tenants, or is it like you doing it for bookings and all of that, booking.com, all those stuff. So it depends on what you're using it for. But if it's paid off, it's a bit easier to kind of sort of see the profits coming in immediately. So I'm like, okay, cool, can definitely set myself on achieving that. And also how I've been thinking about it is that if you are able to repay your car, right, maybe instead of 6 years, you do it in 4 years or like 3 years. If you're able to do that, then it means for the last two or 3 years where you were supposed to be paying that installment, you essentially have freed up 6,000 or 7,000 or whatever, 5,000 or whatever amount you were paying towards your car. You freed that up. Then you can use that to invest, because you've been living without this money for a while, and also you're earning potential or capacity is also increasing as the number of years go on, right? There's inflationary increases, there are promotions at work, you're studying further, you're going up the ladder and all of that. So things can change. And I've just been thinking a lot around, I'm tired of installments. So this year, definitely, getting into that, let's attack debt aggressively, like as aggressively as possible. And it's a goal that you can set for yourself too. Like I'm starting with, I'll just make it 2,000 rands extra. And as time goes, I will see how it goes. I'll try shift around my things. Like just be aggressive in terms of how you're doing it, and sit down and consolidate whatever you need to consolidate to be able to make the sums work, right? And then another one is, you need to be able to consolidate your insurance policies. This one is for my dear Black mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, my dear Black people. This is for you. Consolidate your insurance policies. You do not need 10 funeral covers or 5 funeral covers. That's excessive. You will only die once. I need to repeat that for somebody. You do not need 10 funeral covers because you will only die once. You're not dying, coming back and dying again. You're only going to die once. So with that being said, then sit down and say, okay, how much do I think my funeral will cost? Or how much do I want my funeral to cost? Because I know now there's a trend, red carpets, people want flashy cars. Of course, there's a cow that's going to be involved in there. Like, estimate roughly how much you will need. I feel like for 60K, you can get a good funeral. For like 40 to 50K, you can still get a good funeral. For 100K, you can definitely get a flashy funeral. So if it's 100K, then make sure that your policies pay up 100K. Or like, instead of having multiple policies, why don't you just have one policy that pays out, or 2 policies at most, that pays out that 100K, maybe 50-50, I don't know. Or like just do 100K and you know that when this pays out, we are done. This thing of having 20K here, 10K there, 15K there, no, there, it's expensive. Like, it's so expensive. It's I'm just like, it's not worth it. It's so expensive because imagine paying 100 rands a month for a 10K cover. It's like, what? So definitely consolidate your insurance policies, and just be outside of that. If you really are saying that your main motivation for having 5 or 10 funeral covers is because you want your kids to be left with something, then instead of 10 funeral covers, consider taking out a life cover then for your kids. 1 million or 2 million or whatever amount it is that you want. Consider that instead of 10 different funeral covers, because the amounts that you will get from a funeral cover won't actually get you to that 1 million. So in that scenario, if we're comparing 10 funeral covers versus 2 funeral covers or 1 funeral cover with a life cover, what's cheaper is the second bundle, where you have 1 funeral cover and a life cover, depending on, of course, the cover amounts and all of that. But do consider that, like, even a 500K, you can't get 500K from like a funeral cover unless if you like investing excessively on funeral covers, which will be very expensive. Why would you do that? So that's one thing. And another exercise that I'm currently like undergoing, I realized that I got a MacBook, so it's insured. I got, house and contents. I had bundled up my car insurance and my house and contents insurance because it's cheaper to bundle stuff up for insurance purposes. So now I'm like, I need to get a consolidated cover, just covering everything. One cover covering everything in one small package, so that I save on premiums. So that's something you can potentially look at as well. And I've been with my way blank for the past couple of months, and because of like my financial advisor just said I must try it out because I work from home and I don't drive my car that often. So it was like, okay, let me see how much cash back I can get from all of that. But I'm now at a place where I'm like, okay, I need to review that. Was that like a good financial decision? Should I just bundle everything with my employer or like with somebody else and then like pay a cheaper premium? I'm still looking into that. So that's an exercise you can do for yourself as well, to say, what can I do to save on my premium? For example, if they call you and they tell you that they're increasing your premium, your car insurance premium, you can then say, no guys, Why? On what grounds? What basis? And then try and negotiate so that you don't end up paying more. Like, you have to be smart. You need to tell them, I don't have that money that you guys are asking for. And you're allowed to do that. And they can actually offer you discounts if you're that person. But if they say they're increasing your premium and you keep quiet, they're like, okay, this one is fine. They increase your premium. So definitely communicate, negotiate where you can, and save those small cents that you can. And another one is, just consolidate your debit orders. And I know, like, we get chest pains every single time when they go out. It's like, cop, cop, cop. Unless they have they have the same, time. I don't know. They just go out at the same time. They're set. There's an alarm, like debit orders go. But you need to be able to consolidate your debit orders. First of all, understand, it's that 200 that's going out every single month. What is this for? Do I still need this thing that I'm paying towards? Some people have multiple subscriptions. Apple TV, they've got Showmax, Netflix, whatever. It's like the stock fell. You go there with your friend. One person pays for one thing. You share credentials if it's possible, where possible, and then you save. Instead of paying like 500 rands, maybe you end up paying 200 rands because you want multiple profiles to be able to watch through your profile. So it's just like one of those things where that 300 rands difference can actually make a difference in your finances. You can take that and say, this 300 rands, I'm just gonna throw it in my car, or I'm gonna add 200 rands and add and just pay 500 rands extra towards my car. So those are some of the things you can definitely look at. But consolidate your debit orders. Understand which amount is going where. Do I still need this? Should I cancel this? What is the process? How do I pay off some things as quickly as possible? How do I do this? And then after consolidating, all your debit orders, consolidating your policies, insurance policies, then it's time to consolidate your debts. Like, name and shame them. Just put data one. It's Standard Bank. I owe Standard Bank 60,000. Write it there. Maybe it's on a credit card or whatever it is. I owe APSA 50,000 loan or whatever. I owe the Foschini Group 70,000. Then put it there as well, that it's 70,000. Name and shame all your debts, and then come up with a strategy. This is where this book comes in, because I talk about that like a lot, how you can go about like repaying your things quickly. Write it there and say, this month we are attacking Standard Bank. For the next 6 months, we are attacking Standard Bank as we make minimum repayments on the other people that we owe. Just consolidate. If it's a vehicle financing, I looked at it. I looked at it and I'm like, I still owe like over 100K on my car, and I'm like, okay, I need to start aggressively attacking this debt that's remaining here so that I can free up my money and I can use that to invest in other things in the future. So that's how you play the game. You don't just go out, make more debts without a strategy as to how this thing is going to be done. Like, even when your bonus comes in, it's another thing. You've lived without that money. So if you know you've got debts, use your bonus to fire up on debts. Like, fire up, whether it's your car, whether it's your house or whatever, fire up, pay off things, free that salary, free that installment, use it towards investments and all of that. Okay, cool. And then after consolidating everything, then create a budget. So now you have an idea of, this is what I want to achieve this year, this is what I want to do, this is how much I want to attack my debts, or this is how much I want to be investing, or this is how much I want to be saving. Then you need to create a budget. And we will discuss extensively how to create budgets in the next video that's coming, because that's like one of my highly requested videos. So I did it last year, but I feel like it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. So this year I want to do it with you guys so that you see the full entire process and we do it together, like just how you can budget. So definitely sit down, create a budget even before the Jan salary comes in. Create a budget with the goals that you've set for yourself in mind, to say there's 500 going towards this, there's 200 going towards that, there's 1,000 rands going towards this, and create that budget for yourself with those goals in mind. Somebody at church actually said, like, a budget is a way to bring vision to your finances. So definitely bring the vision to your finances. It's not enough to have the New Year resolutions and say, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to achieve this, hey, I want to save 100K, I want to save this. No, it's quite important to sit down and say, but how are we going to do it? And on a month-to-month basis, how do we move towards that particular goal? And then the last one, the second last one, after you've created your budgets and you've done all these amazing things and you're ready, you need to set stop orders, right? Like for things that are very direct, like extra payments towards your card that you know won't be changing on a month-to-month basis. Set those stop orders right there and there. And then things like, additional payments towards, say, your savings or whatever, set a stop order. And one thing that I like to do, like in terms of money that I save that I don't want to be tempted to use, I'm not sure if all banking apps can do this, but you can normally hide some accounts, right? Like you can choose which accounts you want to see on your app or on your dashboard. So I normally just hide those. And I don't even focus on them. I don't even check them. I don't even want to see, how much I have, as long as I know I'm consistent and my debit orders are going through. And if you don't know how to set up a debit order, like when you make payments, there's that option of once-off payments, recurring payments, there's future dated payments. So stop orders are set using that recurring payment type of feature where you decide, okay, recurring on a monthly basis, weekly basis, how is it recurring, the frequency, and then you also decide on for which period. So you can set it from Jan until December and tell yourself, these are my stop orders that will be going out every single month, and make sure that you also set them on the day that your money comes in. Because if you're gonna say, no, I'm gonna set it for the 25th when you get paid on the 20th, that first 5 days, something might happen there. You might be too excited and you might end up spending money that you're supposed to save or invest. And then the last one is keep your spending in check. Because I have this aggressive goal or strategy to attacking, debts and all of that, setting really keeping your spending in check, or my spending in check, is going to be very important this year. So before I even came back from home, I deleted all the grocery apps, I deleted all the Uber Eats and the fast foods, whatever, McD's, all of them, I deleted them. And I was like, I don't want to tempt myself. This year when I want to buy something, I will go to the store straight. And it's one thing that I'm going to be guarding against, because I know with food, when you get busy, you're like, okay, let me order. Next thing you know, you're ordering the whole week. And that's a good 1,000 to 2,000 rands out, if depending on how much you're spending. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to be disciplined this year. I'm going to remove all these apps. In as much as they're very convenient, I love the convenience. But I'm like, nope, I am not going to do this. I'm going to delete these apps. They're already deleted. So right now it's a matter of, when I need to buy food or when I need to spoil myself, I'll simply go to the mall or go wherever, to the shopping center, and get myself whatever it is that I need. So this is how you can definitely set yourself up for financial success in 2024. And in a nutshell, definitely get yourself a copy of Mind Your Sense. Secondly, set yourself those 3 goals: savings, debt-free, investment goal. Then you need to consolidate your insurance policies, consolidate your debit orders, consolidate your debts, and then you also need to to create a budget. After creating a budget, then you need to set those stop orders for the year. After setting the stop orders, then the last thing you need to do is to just keep your spending in check. And another thing is, show yourself grace. You will sleep every now and again, but sleeping doesn't mean, just because you overspent this month, doesn't mean that next month you need to repeat the same mistake. Start all over again and just get on top of your finances in 2024. So I'm wishing you a prosperous year, and I hope that all your savings goals, all your investment goals, all your debt-free goals become a reality. Don't forget to like this video, share this video with a friend that you really care about and you would like them to, be in charge of their finances this year, or even buy them my book and just gift it to them this year. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, bye.